Hi, this is Randy. If you had a narcissistic or NPD partner, did you ever feel like you shouldn't leave them alone for very long periods of time without structure? I felt that way, and what played the mind game with me is that when you feel like you can't leave someone alone, you might turn it around on yourself and ask, why do I always have to be with this person? Why it's me that has to be with them? I'm the clingy one, I'm the dependent one. And so I would question myself, why can't I leave him alone for very long periods of time, or why do I feel like I can't? And I had a hard time deciphering, is this me? Is this something about me that I'm insecure, and that's why I can't leave him alone for very long unless he's occupied? Or is it because of him that he can't, that there's something that instinctually I knew that he cannot be left alone for periods of time with unstructured activities, because it would lead to a potential downfall of our relationship. And so after years and years, I became more, quote, I guess, brave. And I guess I tested that out. I tested it out about, is this my insecurity or is this about him? And so also, it wasn't my choice, but the way circumstances occurred, I had to leave the narcissist alone for longer stretches of time. Now, these long stretches of time are really not long, comparatively speaking, with normal people. Normal people, I think, have to work at least 8 hours a day outside of the home, generally. Their travel time is going to be at least a half hour to an hour. So 10 hours a day outside the home is probably normal. And then there's some other things that you may have to do on your own, like just take care of general daily business outside the home, like grocery shopping. So I had to do these things, and I got a job that was longer travel time, so it kept me out of the home 10 hours a day. And then I got another side job which kept me out of the home one of those days a week, all the way from like 7:30 in the morning until 10 at night, one day a week. And at the same time, the narcissist was losing motivation to work, and he had his own schedule, had his own business, and scheduled his own jobs. He was losing motivation, and he was losing energy, physical energy. So if he did have a job, it was more likely to be in the summer, not the winter. And he would start early in the morning, 7 in the morning, but by 2:30, he lost steam. So even when he did not structure his time, and he did not structure it in a way that he would be working for as long as I would. And then he would also lose motivation, and also not have the ability to get jobs to occupy his time, so he crumbled at that point when he didn't have things to occupy his time, like work, and it wasn't matching my schedule. And my schedule was fairly normal. His schedule was always working a lot less than 40 hours a week because his body couldn't take it, supposedly. And that unstructured time is what where he got himself in big trouble. Too much time alone, left with his own thoughts. Too much idle time. And I know that, they say idle time, is the devil's work, or whatever that phrase is. And so you might say, oh, that's just normal. People get themselves in trouble. All people get themselves in trouble when they have too much time on their hands. But with the narcissist, this is true to an extreme degree, that when they have too much unstructured time alone, they deteriorate. Things happen because they don't know what to do with themselves. So what they tend to do with themselves is unhealthy. And it's like a child that you have to keep occupied all the time, or else they're going to get themselves in trouble. And, when you're an adult, you can't spend all your time just babysitting for your, spousal partner. And you get in this like pull with yourself, asking, is this me? Am I too clingy? Or is this about them? Like, they need like supervision. They need to be occupied. It's not just like that they just need your attention, but they need supervision almost, which is attention, but it's like kind of monitoring. It's like they need monitoring. And I think this is a reason why they know that they can't be by themselves for long periods of time, because they're like so immature, and their thoughts kept to themselves without having someone to kind of navigate reality for them. Their thoughts go off the deep end, and this is what happened in my relationship. And I'm not going to blame myself, because I was just doing what normal people do. They go to work and they have to take care of business. I didn't think that my relationship was one that, I was agreeing to babysit for my spouse. But when I stopped babysitting and I stopped worrying about it, and I just relaxed with the amount of time that I spent doing my own thing, whatever it was that had to be done, that's when the narcissist at the same time had too much time on his hands, was losing motivation to work, and didn't know how to structure his own time into something productive. And he, it caused this downhill spiral where he went off the deep end. And he's still off the deep end. He didn't recover. It's not like he recovered and now is working consistently, or he always does try to find things to occupy his time, but he loses interest in them. And of course, I'm not with him, so I don't know exactly how he's trying to occupy his time, but I have some pretty good guesses that he hasn't changed in terms of the things that he uses to try to occupy his mind and his time. But they don't work because, they're repetitive, they're boring, they're not productive, they don't, make money, they're not crucial, they're not dependent on anything. He doesn't have a boss. So he just makes up things in his mind to try to occupy himself with some kind of activity that he wants to categorize that as being useful or busy or that he has to do. And I think it's a way that he tries to cope with being left alone by his partner. These people, like, they know they can't be left alone. And now I realize that when he was saying, at the end of our relationship, you won't take care of me. I don't think you're going to take care of me. Maybe he didn't mean take care of him in old age. Maybe he meant, like, he was trying to verbalize that I was breaking off and feeling okay in my own, like, independence and personhood, and that I wasn't babysitting him. I was more relaxed in just leaving him to, I guess, his own devices. And like you would let a child stay home by themselves after they got mature, but he wasn't mature enough to do that, not mature enough to be by himself and then come up with, productive solutions. And he now has a partner who does not work outside the home, so she is there to babysit. However, she has some pretty big aspirations, and I'm sure as a young person she's being very, very squelched in that role as somebody who just stays at home and works at home and is always there to monitor, supervise, babysit, and attend to the narcissist to provide some kind of stability and reality for him. And I don't know how long, she's going to want to do that. Of course, she's going to feel the same as I did. She's going to feel insecure about leaving, this nagging feeling of insecurity whenever she leaves the narcissist and goes out, to do her own thing, even if it's work related. You get this gnawing feeling like you better hurry up and get back there, because you're just not sure how the narcissist is going to be able to, like, take care of himself for very long. I know it sounds really, really weird, but I'm wondering if anyone else felt that way with kind of a weak, kind of a vulnerable narcissist who needs somebody there to occupy him all the time. All right, well, thanks for listening today. Have a great day.